Some people wake up, scroll, agree, and move on. Me, I don't do that. I see things, I question them. And sometimes I see part people are afraid to say. No pressure, no filters, no performance. Just perspective. Welcome to a place where opinions don't whisper, they speak. I speak what I like. America was born rejecting a king, not negotiating with him, not reforming him, rejecting him. So why in today's world does a king walking into America still matters? Well, because this wasn't just a visit, it was a diplomacy. It wasn't just a tradition, it was a signal, quiet one. And quiet signals are usually the most dangerous to ignore. Now, look around. This is not a calm world. It's a world of pressure. Conflict stretches across regions, tensions rising between powers, uncertainty in markets, in borders, and in leadership. Now, every nation is trying to secure itself, every leader trying to move first, because in moments like this, speed feels like strength. But speed has a cost. When everything becomes urgent, thinking becomes shallow. Decisions become reactive. And long-term stability gets sacrificed for short-term control, which is wrong, totally wrong, in my idea. And right in the middle of all the noise, something unusual happens. The king arrives. When this king arrives, he's not loud, he's not aggressive. It's just subtle presence. King Charles III enters the United States of America. No power imposed, no demand, no threats. It's just his presence. And for the most people, that looks ceremonial, harmless, almost irrelevant. But listen closely to the message beneath the calm tone. Interfaith, shared responsibility, peace and prosperity, remembrance of moral foundations. No dramatic declarations, no confrontal language, but every word placed carefully. Now, what does this really mean? Because he's not speaking to headlines. He's not speaking to systems. Stability is not automatic. Peace is not permanent. Relationships are not guaranteed. They are built, and more importantly, they are maintained. Now let's go back to understand this message better. You have to go back to a time where kings were not just a symbolic figure, but the absolute power. They made rules, they enforced rules. They were the rules. If a king decided something, that was it. No appeal, no balance, no accountability, just power without limit. The sovereign power of a king. But then something changed everything. And that was in 1215 AD, the Magna Carta, the big charter. Not just a document, a disruption. Now, for the first time in history, power was told, you are not above the law. The absolute power, the sovereign power was told, you are not above the law. That moment did not then challenge a king. It created principle, a dangerous one. For unchecked power, that principle said, rules come before rulers. And once that idea exists, it cannot be undone. Rules come before rulers. It simply means there's no one above the law. Now, America takes it further. If you can fast forward this to the American Revolution, and this time the colonies don't negotiate with power, they remove it. No king, but instead, law above leaders, power divided, authority questioned, a system built to prevent domination, not just resist it. It prevented hate front. But here's what people forget. That system didn't come from nowhere, it evolved. From the same idea born in 1215, nobody is above the law. Now, this is where the story becomes unexpected, because after everything, war, separation, rejection, America and Britain did something right. They rebuilt. Slowly, carefully, not through force, but through alignment. Shared laws, shared system, shared understanding of limits. They stopped fighting over who controls the power and started agreeing on how the power should behave. And that is what made the relationship strong. Now back to today. A world moving fast, a world reacting under pressure, a world where dominance feels necessary. And in that world, those same relationships still exist, but they are no longer protected by default. This is the part most people misunderstand. Peace is not passive. It is work, it is structure, it is discipline. It requires restraint when you can react, patience when you want speed, responsibility when you hold power. Because everything built over centuries, laws, alliances, trust, can weaken over time. Not through one mistake, but through repeated carelessness, through forgetting why it was built, through choosing control over balance. So yes, America was born rejecting the king. But the idea that the king was forced to accept are what hold the modern world together. And if those ideas are ignored, if responsibility fades, if peace is treated as optional, then collapse doesn't arrive with noise. It arrives quietly, like a thief at night. My name is Sipon Love. Speak what I like. Don't forget to share, subscribe, comment, and actually tell us where you're watching us from. If you agree with everything that we've said so far, then I'm free to actually engage on some of your arguments. If you have some arguments on what I've just shared right now. But the arrival of the king in America was very, very important and strategic. Looking at the fact that we are going to the World Cup, and America is one of the hosts of the World Cup, to ensure peace, stability, prosperity, and safety of the world, it's important that America remember its values as one of the countries that were built on the core of Christianity. What does Christianity teach? And what does America do? Is it still aligned with the foundation of Christianity? You tell me. But the message of the king was clear. We understand the interfaith, we respect it, but we were built on a common idea of Christian faith. And then he emphasized on the peace, on stability, on prosperity. Tell me what you think. See you in the next one. I speak what I like.